Pentagon wants to mass produce the kamikaze attack drone used against Iran. This is turning a one-off strike weapon into a cheap, effective tool for future conflicts.
Anduril Executive Chairman and co-founder Trey Stevens says his company is helping lead the push as the U.S. looks to scale up production.
We absolutely can, and this is kind of a critical problem that we're seeing. To your exact point, our adversaries are not coming at us with, $10+ million fighter planes necessarily. They're coming at us with very, very low cost munitions. And so the challenge that we're trying to rise to is, instead of shooting those $2 million interceptors, we need to get that cost of engagement significantly down. And that's been Anduril's focus since the beginning, building those low cost autonomous systems that give us the ability to fight the wars of tomorrow rather than the wars of yesterday.
Joining us now, Fox News contributor, drone expert extraordinaire, Army Special Operations veteran, and Power Us founder, Brett Velicovich. Brett, great to see you. Right after this conflict in Iran started, this is the very thing that you talked about, that this is the Lucas one-way attack drone that was developed by the U.S., an American-made version of the Iranian Shahed drone. So, not to be glass half empty, but why has this taken us so long to do kind of mass development?
Legacy bureaucrats, that's about all I can say, is people that just don't get it. I mean, you know as well as I do, I've been screaming about this for years on this program, not because the threats we face are hypothetical, but because I was seeing it in real time with my own eyes during the months on the ground I spent on the battlefield in Ukraine. And we should really be smart and take the lessons learned there and apply those to our own tactics going forward. Because I do think what we're seeing right now, finally, though, with the Pentagon, is this move to mass produce these kamikaze attack drones. And frankly, that's one of the most important shifts in modern warfare and one of the smartest moves by this administration. The American people should really be thanking our government for finally paying attention, because what the United States did at the beginning of Operation Epic Fury is turn Iran's own playbook against them and beat them at it. They used these Lucas drones, which were used for the first time in combat. They hit missile sites, command centers, critical infrastructure. They did it at a fraction of the cost of traditional weapons. Now we're able to basically flip the equation at massive scale. You can't fight a prolonged conflict using only billion-dollar platforms, million-dollar missiles, but you can sustain operations indefinitely when your strike systems cost $10,000 to $50,000 per unit. And one of the biggest challenges the U.S. military has had in recent years is cost sustainability. It's cost sustainability that changes everything, especially from an economic standpoint. How long we can fight, how aggressively we can operate, how much pressure we can apply on the enemy. And so we need more of these low-cost systems.
Okay, so it sounds like we were a little bit behind on this one. It makes me think right away then, is China behind, or have they been learning from Iran faster than we have? And how much further ahead might they be than us?
They've been at it for years. Iran arguably has been ahead of us for years. Definitely. They've definitely perfected the cost of low-cost drone technology. But I think what we're seeing here is a bigger story about American innovation. What we're seeing is this shift where smaller, agile U.S. companies are stepping in to solve real battlefield problems faster than traditional systems can. The U.S. government's actually listening. There's a major economic angle here that doesn't really get a lot of attention. This push to produce these mass drones is an expansion of the U.S. defense industrial base. That means new factories, new supply chains, new jobs. Many of them here are going to be in the United States. We're already seeing companies ramp up production capacity. The Pentagon starts talking about producing hundreds of thousands of attack drones. But the reality is you also need a parallel effort on the defensive side, because scale on offense requires the same thing on defense. That's what even my company's doing. We build interceptors that cost $5,000 that are able to shoot down Iranian Shahed drones. Those are the types of systems that need to be produced at scale. Because, again, as much as the U.S. is now scaling low-cost attack drones, our adversaries, like you said, they've been doing it for years. So the question becomes, how quickly can we stop them? How cheaply, how much at scale can we do this? And these interceptor capabilities really are designed to do just that and knock out these $20,000 drones where we don't have to use multi-million-dollar missiles. And I hope we continue to pour money into that and more companies pop up doing those types of things.
Brett, before we go, just to touch on some news of the day, President Trump made a reference to Iran giving the U.S. a very significant, a very big present, oil and gas related to the Strait of Hormuz. And General Jack Keane said the U.S. and allies must control the flow of oil through the Hormuz. Any deal must put us in control of that. We have Marines, sailors headed there, Marine expeditionary units. The 82nd Airborne has been given ready to deploy orders. How do we control the Strait of Hormuz and take it militarily?
Well, I think deterrence only works when it's backed by credible power. And right now, frankly, the United States military is the only force on earth capable of restoring that deterrence quickly. So if that means more boots in the area and more assets, military assets deployed, that's what we need to do. I think it's a losing game if Iran wants to play chicken with the U.S. Navy in the Straits of Hormuz. I think that's the wrong move. But really what I want to see is other countries stepping up. Countries like China, Japan, France, the U.K., they get 90% of their oil through Hormuz. But I don't see their warships yet. And President Trump the other day was right to call them out, stop freeloading on American strength. And so we need more of their support because they're threatening stability of global markets. And it's only going to work if we bring our allies into this and stop it once and for all.
Brett Velicovich, we always appreciate your expertise. Thanks for sharing it with us
Thank you.
tonight.
Thanks, Brett.